Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and a game. Oh, let's remove that fuzziness. Game 1 in a series. This is going to be a King of the Hill style matchup where the winner gets to keep on playing and the loser gets eliminated. I'm not sure if this is a clan war or whatnot, but it does look like there is some sort of team affiliation. And that is the reason why I do not have the players' names in the title description. Otherwise, it would just absolutely spoil it for you guys. So we'll see what's going to happen here. There is a lot of games in this series. I don't know if I'll be able to cast them all, but hopefully you guys do enjoy it. Now, some of you guys said that I'm still a little bit too soft, so hopefully there, you can tell I just adjusted my volume just a little bit more. Hopefully I am not now just screaming at you the entire time. As we see this game get underway, JKS versus Journey here on GSL Daybreak, a map a lot of Korean players are very familiar with and perhaps will be introduced to the BattleNet ladder map pool as well. Apparently I'm having a little bit of difficulty talking this morning. My apologies, but the game is getting underway as a drone now making its way across the map. One of the reasons why I wanted to cast a King of the Hill is because after a while, after casting yesterday Stefano versus White Raw, watching the same race over and over, as exciting as those games were, gets to be a little bit, how do I say it, a little bit predictable. Now with the King of the Hill style, unless another player plays the same exact race as the previous loser, then you pretty much are going to have a different game every time, and you won't get caught up in seeing the same strategies over and over and then trying to just simply who can execute those strategies better. Drone now going for an extractor block here. It looks like it will be successful. We'll see if JKS keeps on canceling that extractor, as it will take more than one Marine in order to destroy that extractor and push that drone away. Meanwhile, JKS is going for a hatchery here at the 3 o'clock position. We can take a look. We are currently getting gas already. Spawning pool is not yet up, so it will be quite some time. So this SCV trying to deal damage while it can, it's not going to do very much of anything, as the extractor is still being built back in the main base of Journey. Now, Journey is going into what looks to be Reactor Hellion play. He just needs about another 6 gas, one more trip. There we go. There is that reactor. And we'll see if Journey will be successful. Now, a lot of... excuse me. A lot of Zerg players in general have really been able to handle that early Hellion harassment. But it does force units... it does force some Zerglings, and it does at least force one Spinecrawler. So with that, with the forcing of one Spinecrawler, a little bit of damage, economic damage, is dealt as we now see the SCV attempting to run away. Factory about to be completed. Barracks about to finish up with the reactor there. We are already building up a command center over here on the bottom, or on the left side of the map. Hellions should be trained. It is going to double train Hellions and now go into supply depots in just a moment, as Journey currently supply blocked, finally getting those 2 Hellions trained up and ready to go. Mule still being called in as Journey tries to figure out how much harassment he will be able to do. Creep Tumor also being placed down as JKS sitting on a 22 drone versus 21 SCV, a slight advantage until you consider that there is a Mule in play for Journey, since he does not need to use scanner sweeps just quite yet. Now, at this stage, we'll see if JKS does try to go for a third base here. A third base would make sense, but right now, Journey is controlling the map. He's going to be able to take down a lot of these Zerglings, and JKS has no information on this natural expansion. He doesn't know if his opponent has taken it yet, but I believe around the 7 to 8 minute mark, he will get that critical information. An Overlord is slowly flying across the map here. It looks like Zerglings are coming down. I don't believe we'll see a hatchery placed down there until the 8 minute mark. That's when Zerg players know if their opponent has tried to go for cloaked Banshees, and then JKS would just train up more Queens and be a little bit more defensive. But as soon as he sees that there are just Hellions and no Banshee harassment to follow up, I do believe a hatchery could be placed down here momentarily. Overlord still keeping track of what's going on in the front door. Hellions trying to clean up Zerglings. Hellions continuing the chase, but the Zerglings are slightly faster still, and the Zergling will see absolutely nothing. The orbital command is now starting to fly overhead. Did he spot the orbital command? That is going to be the key question there. He may have seen it just as it was about to take off, and if he did, he should be trying to establish this hatchery here. Taking a look at the drone count, it is 38 compared to 27. Still no macro hatch coming in, as Journey taking a little bit more damage than he should have on those Hellions. Hellions now looking to perhaps press and do a little bit of scouting here. It looks as though no hatchery still being built as of yet, so JKS perhaps looking to just run on 2 bases for a short while, and I'm curious as to what he's going to be doing in terms of his layer tech. Normally, Mutalisks or Infestors are very common. I cannot imagine... Oh, Overlord quickly gets shot down over here by Journey, so Journey losing that Overlord. We can see that a Zergling was able to sneak inside the natural expansion as Journey getting up 3 supply depots. He was supply blocked for a slight bit of time, but so is JKS, as he needs to get more Overlords, as 1 Overlord was shot down here. Hellions still regrouping themselves. It looks as though those Hellions are backing off, and now those creep tumors are going to continue to spread once more. Hellions should be able to deny that creep tumor if they were actually far enough forward, and yes, able to do exactly that, denying the creep tumor. The drone safely goes back up onto the high ground. It looks like a hatchery will still be established. There it goes, as JKS looking to expand now. So far, Zerglings just making their way down the ramp. We are getting a second spine crawler on the front door. There are bunkers and supply depots on the front door, creating a very nice wall, preventing any Zergling harassment. But the key question will be whether or not Journey can actually deal damage. There are 2 medevacs in the air. There are Marines nearby as well, but the Baneling's Nest will soon be done. Up on the front door, it looks as though, no, it looks as though they're going to be attacking the back door location here. The hatchery will get destroyed. There's the creep tumor. The hatchery now getting canceled. The drone going to get taken down as the Hellions now move their way forward. There are queens, and those queens are going to be very, very strong in dealing with those Hellions, as another Overlord shot down. 90 compared to 84 food. The Marines and the Hellions not trying to push their way in. The Zerglings and the Marines battling it out. Zerglings getting a little bit toasted. 1 Hellion getting destroyed there. And the 2 spine crawlers on the front door really controlling any true harassment, as Journey now looking to perhaps do an elevator drop, and yes, will be doing exactly that. There is 1 Hellion now on the low ground. Zerglings and Mutalisks making their way over. Is it going to be enough? The Mutalisks going after all of those units, but the Marines now trying to engage. There is a couple of transfusions there, saving the Mutalisks. And now Journey is going to be forced to retreat, but not before a couple of drones do get taken down in the back. More and more drones getting destroyed. We are up to 9 worker kills, but Journey really on the losing end of that battle. Some harvesters were lost. Now there is a 7 harvester deficit, as JKS now needs to perhaps mount up a strong counterattack. JKS does have a very sizable army of Mutalisks. Missile turrets should be built, but I do not see any of them on the field just quite yet. Level 1 weapons upgrade is being researched, as we are now going into 1 missile turret here. Zerglings unable to really do any serious damage, as that front door is pretty much nicely sealed. The Mutalisks now looking to deal some damage back over here. The Marines making their way over, able to push back those units again, as Zerglings just hiding back again. Now, Journey already finished up his 3rd orbital command. It looks as though he will be trying to lift it off and land it here. The Mutalisks still unsuccessful at dealing any serious harassment, as there was a missile turret, and now another factory being built. So with the 2nd factory being built, we may be getting a lot more siege tanks, or perhaps even Thors. The missile turrets at 151 hit points should be able to keep back those Mutalisks once more. But JKS, if he gets a license to drone and is able to continue to just drone up on these 3 bases, he will be very difficult to stop. Orbital command still hasn't done anything yet, hasn't been lifted off. 1 poor Marine scouting out, taking a lot of damage, and now being forced to pull back again. There is a missile turret off over here in the backside of the base. As the missile turret now gets destroyed, the Mutalisks are now trying to push back in again. 1 Mutalisk does get taken down, but no two-pronged attack as the Marines and the siege tanks just running back and forth. 2 missile turrets now being established, making it very, very difficult for these missile turrets to get taken down. We can see that the Marines have cleared out and made sure that there is no Zerglings burrowed underneath or perhaps nearby. As we now see a drop happening here, Journey doing a great job, but JKS focusing down the medevac. Zergling's going to finish off those units still, as JKS and Journey are just really taking pop shots at each other, just shooting across the bow, not really investing a lot into damage, and then just trying to see what exactly they can do to each other. Journey is going to get up onto 3 bases very easily now. He is training triple SCVs, but we are at 77 drones compared to 59 SCVs. No more drones now being trained, as it looks like JKS is slowing down his macro just a bit. The Thor does get off a round of javelin missiles into the backs of those Mutalisks. The Mutalisks taking a little bit of damage, not too much here. And still, Marines now making their way forward. Mutalisks looking to come in across the center. Mutalisks coming against those Marines. Marines getting a very nice, or getting hit very nicely by those Banelings. So the Banelings doing a very efficient trade, as JKS looking to take the bottom right-hand expansion now. So JKS soon will be running on 3 bases, as the main base should start to mine out momentarily, already down to 200 and 150 in some of those mineral patches. And as those minerals get depleted, drones should be transferred from the main base. Mutalisks now going after those missile turrets. 1 missile turret now down, 2nd missile turret now down, and now trying to go after some units, and well before the Marines and the reinforcements do arrive. It looks as though a couple attacks from those glaive worms will chain and deal a little bit more, but I don't think anything was truly lost, as the Zerglings may try to put pressure on this 3rd base here. There is 1 siege tank, and perhaps the siege tank will be able to finish off some of those Zerglings and especially those Banelings before they find their target. Mutalisks now looking to fly overhead, perhaps absorb some of that damage, as the Zerglings are going to follow it up. And with Zerglings, Mutalisks, and Banelings, we'll see how much damage can be dealt, as the Marines are once again trying to reestablish the center. Zerglings now battling it out. Banelings are a little bit too far behind. Siege tank in the back, getting off some nice damage there. 6 kills for 1 siege tank already. The Zerglings are upgraded 1-1, meaning that the siege tanks do need to take 2 shots in order to shoot it down. Not quite sure why Journey is not upgrading the level 1 vehicle upgrades, since he already has the armory. Mutalisks now getting destroyed by a missile turret again. Down goes the missile turret, but now the Mutalisks are being very careful to stay away from that bunker. The bunker, with a range of 6 for those Marines inside, those Mutalisks being forced to back off again. And this one bunker causing problems for those Mutalisks, as the Marines now making sure that there is nothing on the top left-hand side of the map. Journey still with a slight food lead. Meanwhile, JKS with a significant map lead, but Journey able to push forward and take down this hatchery. And now we'll see how much damage he's going to be able to do. But now coming back on the far side, Baneling's now trying to crash in, and it looks like it's going to be an expansion for an expansion. The JKS most likely will end up losing this expansion here. Missile turret will get taken down, but Marines now charging in on the front door here. And Journey with 2 Marines hitting a good timing, may be able to deal a lot of damage. Marines now trying to run away, but the Baneling's getting off a very nice hit. Fungal growth coming in, and now the siege tanks are all going to get cleaned up. So with only 2 siege tanks here, we'll see how much damage can be dealt. There are currently 4 medevacs, 1 siege tank, and 1 Thor. A couple Marines now being left behind again, as the Marines, it looked like they was actually shooting. Nope, it may have been shooting down his own medevac. Marines now getting surrounded, and now the Thor is able to retreat again. JKS back up to 142, as this expansion down over here with double spying crawlers and harvesting as much gas as possible. Zerglings looking to perhaps take down the Thor if the Thor was unloaded, but no unloading there. Burrowed Zerglings going to cause problems for JKS, as JKS now running on 2 bases compared to 4, or essentially 3 with the additional help of extra gas on a 4th. And we'll see whether or not that will be successful. Marines now making their way forward. It looks like the siege tanks are going to try to damage this up over here. There are 2 Banelings currently sitting on the ramp, and there they go. The Marines just getting melted again. The Mutalisks now going to go in knowing that there is no Marine support. Marines now trying to make their way back over. Those 2 Mutalisks get destroyed rather quickly. but the siege tank will go down as JKS once again trading very efficiently and getting off a fungal growth. Journey is in trouble. Banelings finding their target. The siege tanks now forced to retreat as JKS really playing well and trying to make sure that those Marines just constantly get destroyed, allowing the Mutalisks and those Banelings to find their target. Siege tanks now on the move again. We are still sitting on 4 bases to 3 now. Journey now looking to establish a planetary fortress here at the 9 o'clock position. Zergling's going to clean up a Marine at the Zelnaga Tower. Banelings and a fungal growth and quickly clearing out some of the siege tanks in the center. Journey now behind by about 40 food. Excuse me as I accidentally hit the microphone. And now a drop looking to come in on the top side. However, drones are making their way over. There is one spine crawler here. A queen now making a trip over as 2 queens now looking to shoot down the medevac. The medevac has taken a lot of damage already. The medevac looking to perhaps do a drop on the backside here, and it will be successful. There is a greater spire currently upgrading as we now see infestors getting destroyed. No real fungal growth whatsoever. The medevac now going to be dropping along the backside. There is the Baneling's Nest. There is the Greater Spire. A lot of key tech could get destroyed. And somehow Zerglings and Infestors have cut off the rest of this Siege Tank Marine army. All the Marines going after the Banelings. I do believe that the Baneling's Nest should be able to be saved if it is responded and reacted to in time. But now another engagement happening here. Siege Tanks up on the high ground. Infestors getting off some fungal growths. Siege Tanks going after Zerglings. Zerglings going after Siege Tank. The Siege Tanks do not have weapons upgrade. And that may be the issue as those siege tanks taking 2 hits in order to destroy. Queens now making their way over. Queen getting focused down one at a time. No transfusion by JKS. So JKS, a little bit of miss micro there. The queens are all going to get destroyed as we are now going into Greater Spire. Overlord now pushing back as now we have some fungal growth and add in some infested Terrans, and that should be a whole bunch of dead medevacs for Journey. Journey now with no more medevacs essentially. Nope. We may see another fungal growth here. Is it going to actually happen? No, one infestor does get taken down. There is the quick burrow. There is now 4 Zerglings here. 2 medevacs in the air, all relatively low on hit points. But the Zerglings are unable to see inside the fog of war or inside the vents, finally able to push their way through and take it out. Zerglings now looking to try to clean up the planetary fortress area, but unable to as there is the planetary fortress. They all quickly burrowed, but that will quickly get destroyed as the siege tanks and Marines once again pushing back in. Fungal growth only hitting 3 Marines there. Not enough true damage as more and more SCVs now doing a little bit of long distance mining. The main base has been lifted off, perhaps will re-land in just a moment, but the Overlord may spew some creep. No, yes, does spew some creep just in time. The Marines now are going to get underneath it and be able to shoot it down. And what's going to be interesting is that he just dropped it straight up on a Zergling. So it's going to look as though the creep is still blocking it as we now see more and more Zerglings still burrowed off over here. This command center, orbital command still looking to land, unable to do so. Zerglings now heading off to the north. Are they going to spot this medevac? Yes, they are going to spot the medevacs here. And are they going to be able to perhaps send in some Mutalisks? 2 medevacs now making their way in. And more long distance mining happening as this one orbital command still unable to land. Medevacs now looking to do a bit of a drop. And the queens are nearby. 1 queen, 2 queen, and a spore crawler dealing some damage. Down goes 1 medevac. Another medevac should get taken out very easily. Already down to 30 hit points. Zergling's going to clean up that attack here. And I really gotta believe that Journey is just so far behind in this game, especially without weapons upgrades, that he's not going to be able to do very much. Unable to land this planetary fortress or this orbital command. Still doesn't know what exactly is happening as now a full medevac with 8 Marines looking to do a bit of a drop, but already taking damage from a queen nearby. Queen now going up against the Marines. The queen will fall most likely. No, now Stim chasing up after those. After that queen, Marines now going to town on all of those drones. And now the Marines going to focus down. Yes, able to focus down the queen, but not after a fungal growth does hit. Marines now looking to clear out some creep tumors. Still, Journey finally has taken down that little Zergling, that irritating Zergling underneath. And we'll see what JKS tries to follow this up with. There are a lot of infestors on the field, currently up to 13. JKS still running off of 4 bases. Now this base only mining off of 1 gas, so I guess 4.5 bases in terms of gas. But then again, this is only a 1 gas base, so I guess it is just technically 4 bases now. Infestors and Broodlords making their way out. Broodlords are upgraded 2-1. We are going to be going into the Katonis plating. Level 3 Zerg Flyer attack and level 3 Zerg melee attack as well. The Zerglings, the Broodlings, and the Broodlords all going to benefit, or the Broodlords going to benefit because those Broodlings are going to deal more damage as the Medevac now simply does a quick flyby. Overlord trying to keep track with that Medevac. That Medevac, however, 1 step ahead continually, and it looks as though a drop may be happening here, perhaps to try to take down the Greater Spire. Zerglings, Marines, and now the Overlord going to get taken down. Zerglings arriving to the party a little bit late. The Banelings are not going to be able to detonate onto any of those Marines, as the Overlord still keeping track of what's going down. This third base may be in a bit of trouble. There is 1 spine crawler here, more spine crawlers being added. That's going to be pretty much no room for the Marines to unload, especially if they try to drop right here. That is going to be the worst possible position, as the Medevac now forced to fly away. Baneling finds a Marine. 2 spine crawlers going to finish off a lot more Marines before they even finish off a spine crawler here, even with the help of a Medevac, unable to stay alive long enough. Corruptors, Fungal Growth, Vikings. We'll see how much damage can be dealt. The Siege Tanks with that superior range, able to deal a lot of damage. Broodlords now attacking with Broodlings. Corruptors going up against Vikings. The Vikings not really having to deal with very much, since they do have superior range. And the Corruptors still getting destroyed. We are now sitting at almost 6,000 resources for JKS. Journey sitting at 150. And it almost feels like JKS, as long as he doesn't give away this 1 Broodlord army, should be able to take it. Viking now making its way in. Corruptors now making their way in as well. Here we go. Vikings now look to engage again, as the Vikings are looking to try and focus down those Broodlords. Queens now transfusing and keeping up a lot of these Broodlords alive. You can see constant transfusion, and JKS may be able to take the game here. We are going to see another loss of base momentarily. Vikings now trying to go up against those Corruptors, and there is the GG. So JKS taking game 1 in this Clan War series. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.